Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Some 49 billion euro was raised by European startups in the first 6 months of 2021, nearly 3 times that of 2020. Here to talk about European VC investment is Hussein Kenji and Rob Kniaz, both partners at Hoxton Ventures based in London. Hoxton Ventures is a seed fund that has invested in a number of European unicorns, including Darktrace and Deliveroo. Gentlemen, welcome to Trade Talks. It's great to see you both. And Hussein, I'll start with you first. The UK is now third in the world when it comes to decacorns, those startups valued at over 1 billion. Can you tell me why so much growth is coming out of this market?
Yeah, absolutely. So Europe and the UK has always been a very strong place for building tech innovation, but it's been hard to scale these businesses up. I think there's been a flattening in the tech industry, which allows companies to come from anywhere. And the UK is now disproportionately punching above its weight. It's number 3 in the world after US and China, overtaking Israel, overtaking India. And I think it's because the economy here is really strong on the tech side and is continuing to kind of build on everything that it's done for the last 10 or 15 years.
And Hussein, a number of U.S. venture capital firms have made their way to Europe recently, namely Sequoia, General Catalyst, and Lightspeed. Why is there so much interest from U.S. VCs in this market?
Yeah, I think the world has woken up to the fact that European companies are actually a thing in the tech industry, and it's a very dramatically underserved part of the economy in Europe. So what's happening is the American venture firms, who are kind of the dominant venture firms of the world, have realized they can set up offices here and win those deals, and then help those companies scale globally. And the European entrepreneurs and UK entrepreneurs are very much want that kind of money in order to be able to achieve global success. So it's a perfect pairing. And I think we're going to see more and more American firms come over and do these kinds of deals. It's great for us as a small firm because those are the kinds of checks that they're writing into are the kinds of companies that we back way earlier.
And Rob, a number of UK companies, including Arrival, which was valued at 13 billion US, decided to go public here in the US on Nasdaq. Why are so many European startups going public in the US?
I think simply put, there's just more demand overall. I think the U.S. markets are among the most robust in the world. You have both retail as well as institutional demand. So I think for any kind of company, if you're a successful business, you want to shoot for the largest markets with the most appetite. And arguably, that's almost always in the U.S. So I think regardless of where the company is around the world, the demand is heaviest in the U.S. markets. And so almost most of our companies that we deal with are always keen to explore the U.S. markets where possible.
Rob, what types of high growth industries and technology should we expect to come from the European market specifically?
I think if you think about the strengths of Europe, it's in 2 areas. One is in consumer. If you think about Spotify, the great consumer companies can come from anywhere, and increasingly you see the best consumer things, originate in Europe. As long as they look good, consumers are the same generally worldwide. So if you make a great product, it can come from really anywhere in the world, especially Europe. And there's also great engineering talent you can take advantage of to scale it up. I think also, if you think about the access of Europe or the talent of Europe, there's a tremendous domain expertise in the big universities. So if you think about deep tech as a sector, I've been very impressed by the spinouts coming out of Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, ETH in Switzerland. So there's an amazing amount of hardcore research that formerly stayed inside the university that's now becoming a lot more globally focused, and you're seeing a lot more of these companies coming out. So I think that's a huge advantage Europe has, that every country has at least a few top-tier universities that can easily compete with the best in the U.S.
All right, Rob, Hussein, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.